Hello friends, today we will going to start unit number 2, that is properties, production and placement of concrete, in which we see fresh concrete and hardened concrete. In fresh concrete we will see properties of fresh concrete like workability, segregation, bleeding. Then measurement of workability, the different test on concrete on field as well as in lab done on concrete for measuring the workability of concrete. Let's see, today we are going to see fresh concrete. The process of manufacturing concrete passes through various stages, that is batching and dry mixing of concrete ingredient, mixing of concrete ingredients with water, transporting and placing of fresh concrete mix, compacting and finishing, and finally hardening of concrete. In which batching means the measuring ingredient for producing particular kind of concrete. It may be volume batching or weight batching. Volume batching means in which the ingredient of concrete like cement, water and aggregates, it may be coarse or fine aggregates, are measured with a particular volume of container, in which containers are used which has particular volume. And in weight batching, the weight of the ingredient in particular proportion is taken for manufacturing of concrete. Then dry mixing of all ingredients, mixing of concrete ingredient with water with the help of mixer. Then transporting and placing. The concrete manufacturer produce at one place, then it will be transported through some container, wheelbarrows or built conveyor or pump, or in the RMC plant the concrete is transported with the help of truck. Then placing process, then compaction of concrete, in which hand compaction and machine compaction we will see in detail in next lecture. And then finishing, basically good quality hard concrete means the concrete with required strength, adequate volume, stability and desired durability. In order to produce good quality hardened concrete, it is necessary to monitor the various properties of fresh concrete such as workability, bleeding, segregation, desired compaction, etc. Amongst all these, workability is the most important property of fresh concrete. The main feature of fresh concrete is the hydration of cement, which is responsible for converting the fresh concrete into hard concrete. The chemical reaction of water and cement is called hydration of cement, and the product of this reaction are called as hydrated compounds, which are in the form of gel. The quantity of these hydrated compounds, which is responsible for strength and other properties of hardened concrete, mainly depends upon the quantity and quality of water and cement. First of all, we see what is in the hydration of cement. The chemical reaction of cement with water is popularly known as hydration of cement. Hydration of cement in turns produces the hydrated compounds which are rich of setting and hardening properties and provides the strength to concrete. Basically, cement itself does not possess any cementing property unless it is mixed with water. So, it is necessary to ensure full hydration of cement particles in order to develop full strength of concrete. The hydration of cement is not an instantaneous process, but it may last for indefinite time with varying rate of hydration. At the early stage, the rate of hydration is large, which reduces with the time. For example, during hydration of ordinary Portland cement, about 50% of total hydration of cement is achieved within first 1 to 3 days as compared to about 75% hydration which completes within 7 days, and up to 90% is in about 6 months or so. The hydration process is exothermic reaction which generate considerable amount of heat of hydration. For example, during mass concreting, the inside temperature of concrete may rise even up to 50 degrees Celsius. Mass concreting means the large quantity of concreting at a particular time, means the mass means huge concreting at a time. Then hydration of basic compounds of cement. The basic compound of cement, namely dicalcium silicate, that is C3S, dicalcium silicate, that is C2S, and dicalcium aluminate and tetraaluminopyrite, that is C3A and C4AF respectively, are called as bogies compounds. We saw in cement chapter what are the basic compounds of the cement. These compounds hydrate in different ways, which has been in hydration reaction. Among the 4 basic compound of cement, tricalcium aluminate hydrates very fast, hence generate maximum amount of heat which is harmful for the durability of concrete. The product of hydration of tricalcium aluminate contributes to the early strength of concrete. Hydration of tricalcium aluminate, that is C3A, being very rapid may cause fresh setting of concrete. To prevent fresh set of cement, gypsum is added in the cement at the time of grinding. When water is added in the cement, the gypsum, due to its chemical composition, reacts with tricalcium aluminate, with the result less tricalcium aluminate is available to react with water, hence setting process get retarded. Hydration of calcium silicate and dicalcium silicates are mainly responsible for governing the early and later strength of concrete respectively. Because of rate of hydration of C3S, that is tricalcium silicate, is faster than dicalcium silicate, but due to the fast rate of hydration, tricalcium silicates generate more amount of heat of hydration, which is harmful for the concrete. Hydration of this compound also produces large amount of calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH2, which is also harmful for the concrete because this product is soluble in water, which afterwards get leached out on the surface of concrete, leaving pores inside the concrete. In general, one can say that hydration product of C2S, that is dicalcium silicate, are more effective in improving the strength of concrete as compared to those of tricalcium silicate. Then what is the structure of hydrated cement? The product of hydration of cement, most commonly known as CSH gel, is in the form of thin fibrous crystals of infinitely small size. The CSH gel has little more than 2 times the volume of the original unhydrated cement volume. The CSH gel plays an important role in governing the various properties of concrete, both in plastic as well as in hard stage, such as strength, permeability, durability, drying shrinkage, elastic properties, creep and volume stability of concrete. The hydrated cement paste is considered to consist of hydrates of various compounds, unhydrated cement particles and water. Water in the hydrated cement paste partly remains in the gel pores and partly in the capillary cavities of concrete. Now let's see what is the water requirement of hydration reaction. For manufacturing of concrete, the water is mainly required for some purposes, in which for hydration of cement compounds. Then second is for providing proper lubrication between the concrete ingredients to make the concrete workable in plastic stage. And last purpose is after hardening of concrete, water is required for curing purposes. Requirement of water for workability and curing has been discussed in detail. The requirement of water for hydration reaction is about 23% by weight of cement is required for the hydration of cement compounds, and about 15% water is required to fill the gel pores. The gel pores are the pores of very small size and are part of hydrated cement gel. The water occupied within the gel pores is not available for further hydration, so about 38% water by weight of cement is generally considered as sufficient to complete the hydration process along with occupying the space of gel pores. Any excess quantity of water than above will lead to form the capillary pores in the concrete mass, and such water is free to evaporate, leaving capillary pores behind, which reduces the strength of concrete. Therefore, it is quite necessary to monitor the quantity of water for preparation of concrete mix. Then water cement ratio. We already discussed about water cement ratio in previous lecture at the time of admixtures. The water cement ratio is ratio law is given by Duff-Abrams. Duff-Abrams established the water cement law, which correlates the strength of concrete to the water cement ratio. It says that with the given concrete ingredients and test conditions, the quantity of mixing water used alone determines the strength of concrete. So long as the concrete mix is workable. In other words, the law states that the strength of concrete only depends upon water cement ratio provided the mix is workable. The limitations of Abraham's law is that the effect of entrapped air on strength of concrete is ignored, whereas the strength of concrete is greatly affected by the presence of entrapped air. For example, 5% of voids can lower the strength by as much as 35%, and even 2% of voids can reduce the strength of concrete by more than 10%. On the basis of this test result, the above Abraham's law can be mathematically given as S is equal to A by B raised to X, where S is equal to 28 days compressive strength of concrete, and A and B are two empirical constant, and X is water cement ratio. A typical plot of this equation is given in the graph. It can be observed from the graph. Strength of concrete is inversely proportional to water cement ratio. That means low water cement it gives higher strength, and higher water cement ratio gives lower strength. For achieving the same strength, higher water cement is required for hand compacted concrete as compared to that required for fabricated concrete. At very low water cement ratio, the law is as at such low water cement ratio compaction is not possible. It is all given in this graph according to Abraham's law. Let's see the property of fresh concrete. The most important property of fresh concrete, that is workability. Workability is one of the important properties of fresh concrete, which is directly or indirectly responsible for quality of concrete as a whole. Adequate workability on one hand improves the desirable properties of concrete such as finishability, degree of compaction, and strength of concrete, whereas on the other hand it reduces the undesirable properties like segregation and bleeding of concrete. Workability is basically a composite property to define, as it is related with the ability of concrete to mix, transport, place, compact, and to get finished. Also, the requirement of workability is different for different types of work. For example, concrete, which is most workable for mass concrete, may be non-workable for heavily reinforced concrete members. Workability of concrete apparently has two main components, namely consistency and cohesiveness. The consistency is related with the ease of flow of concrete, and cohesiveness describes the tendency of concrete not to bleed or segregate. Therefore, workable concrete should have sufficient consistency to provide ease of flow for smooth placement and effective compaction, and it should possess sufficient cohesiveness to avoid bleeding or segregation or harshness of concrete mass. This is definition of workability. The simplest definition of workability is the ease by which one can handle the concrete. Handling of concrete includes all the operations performed on the fresh concrete, namely mixing, transporting, placing, compacting and finishing, etc. If all these operations could be performed smoothly and efficiently with minimum efforts, then the concrete is said to be most workable. As per IS 461 Part 7 1973, the workability can be defined as that property of freshly mixed concrete or mortar which determines the ease and homogeneity with which it can be mixed, placed, compacted and finished. That is definition given by IS 461 Part 7. Scientifically or technically, the workability of concrete can also be defined as that property of concrete which determines the amount of useful internal work necessary to produce full compaction, that is with least voids. The workability of concrete by compaction factor test is determined on the basis of this definition of workability. Today we saw all the basic properties of fresh concrete: hydration of cement, water requirement of hydration reaction, then workability of concrete. In next lecture we will see the factors affecting workability and how the workability to be measured in lab or on the field.